Going home for the holidays is always stressful for me, though it's not because of being forced to see my parents and grandparents once again and trying to explain what I'm studying and what my major is over and over again to our countless family friends over days of various Christmas parties and get-togethers. Nor is it because of an estranged cousin who I butt heads with, or an overly political uncle who just can't keep himself from turning the dinner table into a fierce battleground of fake moral superiority and continuing the annual tradition of asking me if I'm still a girl this year. No, I'm very, very lucky to have a very encouraging and supportive family. Even though they might not understand, they still lift me up, and it's a blessing to have that. What really stresses me out is being in the house before coming back home after visiting for a holiday. The eerie quiet that settles over every chair, couch, and table like a thick, opaque fog the day after all the festivities have died down. Like the house is holding its breath, waiting in anticipation for the next party that will never come before it can release a sigh and return things back to normal. I've never felt this feeling quite as strongly as I did this year while I was packing up my belongings the day after Christmas. I opened the blinds to the small office I was in for the previous 7 days and just took a minute to stop, to take note of how being in the liminal space between being back home in Washington and visiting down in Oregon made me feel. How disquieting, but also sort of melancholic the house felt on that gray morning. I think what I'm trying to say is that there's a sense of longing when I go back to visit my family for the holidays. I expect my town to be exactly as I left it years ago, but as I drive down those familiar streets, I always find that's never the case. There are new buildings, shops have closed down, and new businesses have their signs hanging in the doorway. There's always somehow at least 30 more Teslas driving around on the street. Things have changed since last time, and they've changed without me. I know it's silly to expect the town to just suddenly stop growing and existing when it's not in the forefront of my thoughts, but I think there's always that expectation nestled somewhere quiet in the back of my mind. So as I looked out of the office window into the front yard, the realization hit me like a freight train. This house will not be the same as I leave it. But maybe that's not as melancholic as it feels to me. When handling antique clocks, it's absolutely crucial to pay attention to the seemingly insignificant details of the parts. Previous horologists who have worked on the clock before may have left either intentional or accidental small scratches, nicks, or divots into certain mechanisms, indicating which parts have been serviced in the past. These witness marks, as they're called, serve essentially as a map to the current person working on the clock, as they show how much work needs to be done on which parts and to what degree. Much like antique clocks and firearms and cars, houses also possess witness marks similarly. We can split these witness marks into two categories for houses: short-term and long-term witness marks. A short-term witness mark might be something easy to restore or recover from. A hole in the wall from a nail, a mark in the carpet where furniture sat, the residue left on a window from a window cling. While a long-term witness mark is something that will most likely stay with the house forever. A cracked tile in the bathroom where you dropped your blow dryer, the stain in the carpet from when you tried to light a pen on fire and it exploded, the dead zone in the middle of the thermostat dial. Much like our own memories, short-term and long-term witness marks make up a house's memories of us. Houses are quite similar to us in many ways. They go through phases as different people move their furniture and plates and appliances in and move them all back out again. They acquire different memories of all that have passed through their walls. Your house remembers that one picture from your grandma hung in the living room, and how you never turned on the overhead light in your bedroom and instead loved using your LED strip lights. Your house remembers what you cooked in the kitchen back on August 15th, 2019, and how desperately you tried to scrub the ink stain from the carpet before your parents got home and threw a fit. So, no matter where you are, who you are now, if you go to visit every week, once a year, or never again, whether your parents remember your name, choose not to, or can't recall who you are, your house remembers you. and it wishes you well. Stay safe out there.